If the pain arises, it's fine. The pain is inevitable, but the suffering is optional. Don't go in the story, in the worry, in the victim role. Heal that wound and continue to trust in the power of love.
Action!
Are you ready for a nice surprise? Are you available for life to treat you well? Are we open to welcome the benefits that life has to offer? Is it possible for us to cultivate more receptivity and availability so that life can actually provide these gifts and offerings to us? This is the topic of today's Spirit of Yoga podcast. And I'm very thankful that you are open to dive into this nice surprise. Mindset, and we can say heart set, is the name of the game. Our attitude of gratitude allows us to receive. If we are open, if we are willing to see the beauty, to welcome the gifts that life has to offer, our whole life could change. In some ways, it's a matter of basics. The famous optimism, pessimism. Do you see the glass half full or half empty? My teacup here, because this is a tea chat, my teacup is half filled. Is it half full or half empty? Now it's almost empty. No. There's still a lot of amazing pu'er, ancient green tea inside. So if we can find a way to change our perspective, even this last zip that we receive does not need to be filled with, in a way, desperation and this kind of clingy neediness of like, oh, I'm worried it's going to finish soon. But that's what the mind is usually focused on. It likes to emphasize the downside. The negative thinking is quite widespread, especially in European countries such as Germany. I grew up in this not only critical, but even hypercritical world. And then in university, I didn't study psychology, but the department where I studied at the university was the department for critical psychology, based on critical theory. Hypercritical, splitting the hair type of thinking, which is very valid, very analytical, very straight, clear, clean, has a lot of value. I love it. But it's emphasizing a lot on the trouble, on the negativity, on the pessimistic glass half empty perspective. And out of that comes a tendency to then fight against all these negative and dark forces. It's a certain struggle, a defensiveness, a hustle, an efforting, almost a combat, an attempt to kind of defeat the evil and dark forces. And yes, there are a lot of those around. It's not just a fantasy, imagination, or assumption. There's a lot of trouble in this world. The industrial defense complex, the pharmaceutical industry, the lobbyism, the environmental destruction, the social injustice. There is a lot of trouble going on. But there's also a lot of good stuff going on. Let's not forget about that. But the tendency is that the mind loves to indulge in the problems, in the scandal, And then the anticipation of the problems, the fear mongering. The German proverb is painting the devil on the wall. Kind of, it's coming, you see it, and then it can become a self-fulfilling prophecy. On the stock markets, it really works like this. If everybody's worried about the crash, and then a little needle in the haystack, little butterfly in China, and then it tips over and everybody panics and then it all blows up. So panic attacks on a collective level. So don't feed the negativity, because fighting against the dark is a heavy job. And the trouble is that it's a fight. And as long as we fight, we are part of the trouble. I understand the resistance, the revolution is an important ingredient. The frustration that drives the anger which creates the uprising resistance of the social justice movement, is of utmost importance. And trust me, I've been there on the barricades. I've been fighting against the dark for more than a decade. But then I shifted over. After being in the counterculture, critical psychology, emancipatory social justice movement, rage against the machine, I changed sides, and for the last 17 years, I've been emphasizing on amplifying the light, bringing more goodness to this world. So it's not necessarily an either-or decision that we need to select to be either on this side or that side. We can be, in a way, in both areas at the same time, but there's a certain emphasis on this side or the other, which makes the whole difference. There's a certain beauty in emphasizing the bright side of life, a certain serenity where we actually get supported, where life collaborates, where we meet the right people in the right time. And in this way, we feel the mutual upliftment, the synergy, the shared momentum that we can develop as a community, as a yogic family of spiritual seekers and finders from around the world. You are not alone in this. We have a dream. And we are not the only ones. I hope other people will join us so we can bring more peace to this world, so that we can support the ones who don't have a voice, that we can give strength and protection to Mother Earth, speak up in her name, but not as a fight, but as a celebration, as a cultivation of abundance. So having this overflowing joy represented in many ways in the blossoms of the flowers. The abundance of nature gives us an example of just basically overshowering us with beauty. Have you ever seen how nature cares for reproduction, multiplication? It's not just continuation of the species in a mechanical way. It's an overflowing beauty. What are these flowers for? Sure, these got kind of cultivated and most of them don't really bear fruits anymore. But originally, no, it's the story of the flowers and the bees and the pollination. And in this way, the dissemination and distribution of fertility, and out of the flowers come the fruits, if you forgot about it. No? A cherry tree first blossoms, then the cherries. Here in the tropics, we have strawberries on top of the mango cake. And then we top it up with some passion fruit. So here in the tropics, it's very obvious. The abundance is kind of straight in our face. Sometimes here directly behind me, we have the bunches of bananas growing. There's actually a new one. I see it over there. New bunch of bananas. Maybe our cameraman can catch this bunch of bananas over here. Please catch those bananas behind us. So in some seasons, it's even more obvious. In the harvest season, it's this overflowing abundance. In a way, the overflowing joy, the expression of sacred manifestation, where nature just provides almost excessively. So this is what we call in the spiritual context an overflowing of joy. And poetically speaking, my cup is runneth over. I'm just filled. I am fulfilled. I am overjoyed. I am content with the content of life. Whatever arises in this moment. And yes, it's not always sunshine. It's not always summer. It's not always sweet weather in the tropics either. The rainforest behind me requires rain. And we do have a rainy season. And the monsoon showers can be very abundant. So the contrast is the name of the game. Summer, winter. That's how the seasons flow. But then we always see the beauty in each and every of those moments. It's an opportunity to connect more holistically as the butterfly sails by and the dragonfly swirls by. But then there are other seasons, the autumn, where the leaves fall, and before they fall, every leaf becomes as colorful as a flower. In a way, the autumn is even more abundant than the springtime, you see? And even when the leaves are brown down on the ground, see the beauty in them, the shades of brown. And then acknowledge how these leaves turn back into soil. They start molding with the rain. The insects start eating them. They digest them and make the rich, fertile soil out of them. So the trees get nourished and nurtured and fertilized to then blossom again in the next season. The obvious yet hidden beauty of simplicity, the perfection of the cycles of life. If we could become aware of these flows, then all of the phenomenon, all of the expressions of nature and culture could be seen as an offering. Life offering itself to itself. Life giving itself to life. The water continues to find its way. The river is flowing, flowing and growing down to the sea. So hydrate yourself. Keep the tea flowing. Let the juices of life unfold, marinate in this juicy nectar, which the yogis call amrita, the nectar of immortality. And these Chinese teas have rejuvenating benefits. Trust me. The aroma, the flavors, the fragrances of these teas and of these flowers can make you high if you're available. If you can see and receive, smell the beauty, if you can taste the nuances. I spent in the last days and years a lot of time with my befriended tea masters, and they taught me how to smell and receive the fragrance of the tea and to get high on that. And then in our spiritual communities, we get high on life. Not on cocktails, not even on mocktails when they're too sugary, just on the real juice, on the passion fruit juice and on this tea leaf juice. And then we fly high together on ecstatic dance floors. No shoes, some tattoos, no phones, no drugs, no alcohol. Just the joy and abundant overflow of the goodness of life. And even if you're in the autumn, fall, and winter, and even if the days are short and the nights are long, light a candle, and the fire of the heart keeps burning. Nourish and nurture yourself in these seasons. Soak them up and see whatever this season in your place has to offer. So allow yourself to be available and receptive to perceive and receive the gifts of life. The joy of a hot shower after you've been out and about in the icy, cold, dark weather. Celebrate each and every moment, even though it might be challenging, even though it might be a difficult one, even though you might be provoked and pushed. Thank you for the nudge. Nice reminder to not take things personally, to detach, to relax, to soften, to stay open in the heart, even when there's sorrow and melancholy arising. Cultivate this inner alchemy of turning around the energy of the pain into fuel for love, amplifying the fire of the heart. Offer yourself into this fire. Give yourself willingly and burn brightly. And celebrate life with full intensity. Be open to embrace life. Whatever it has to offer, stay available. If the pain arises, it's fine. The pain is inevitable. But the suffering is optional. Don't go in the story, in the worry, in the victim role. Maybe at times the frustration leads to anger, to resistance, to fight. But then pacify that, heal that wound, and continue to trust in the power of love. Because the love of power will definitely not solve the problems of this world. But if we let love rule, then we have hope. And I trust that together we are making a difference. I know that we are making a difference. So connect to like-minded people and like-hearted beings. Connect to the beauty of nature and allow nature to heal you. Nature is the best healer. Even if the weather, the temperatures are colder, get out there. There's no bad weather, there's just wrong clothing. Expose yourself a bit more to the raw forces of nature. And then you come home and, as mentioned, have a hot shower and enjoy the contrast. See how it goes. And if you have experiences like this, please share them in the comments below. so we can inspire each other. So let's grow together. Let's unfold synergy. Shine the light in your community and uplift the people in your surroundings. Your network, your community is your energy. So give back, nurture these connections. We shall lift each other up. And then we rise far and wide and spread the love of the heart with as much purity and sincerity as possible. And then we fail, and that's okay. We become aware of it. We're not perfect, but we show up with sincerity and integrity as much as our limited abilities allow. So thank you for staying all the way to the end of this special surprise podcast. Thank you for joining this tea chat. This was another wonderful episode of Wisdom in Motion, delivered straight from the tropical beauty of Bali into your open heart. Please be part of our subscriber family. If you have watched this video, you might as well subscribe to the channel so you get more of these uplifting good news into your feed. So these reminders will help you to go deeper and deeper together. So check out some other episodes of the Spirit of Yoga podcast. And I'm very much looking forward to going deeper together. Sending blessings from wonderful Bali. Keep on shining. Thank you so much. And we'll be in touch.